Hi, welcome to our session. Today we're going to talk a little bit about pronunciation. I've got some good news and some bad news. You want to hear the good news or the bad news? All right, let me give you the bad news. So for years you've studied English and you still think your pronunciation is terrible. You're not exactly correct. It may not be great, but it's also not terrible. Here's the good news. You can correct pronunciation easily. Why do I say that? Because research has shown that most people make, catch this, the same pronunciation mistakes over and over. So that's good news. You actually don't make a lot of mistakes. You just make the same mistake over and over and over again. And what that means is if you can correct that one or two mistakes that you make all the time, your pronunciation will definitely get better. In the first video, I'm going to share with you a trick, a pronunciation trick, a very common trick. Sometimes you see English words are spelled one way and they're pronounced in a different way. Usually a verb and a noun. I'm going to share with you a rule that will help you learn the difference between how to pronounce a verb and a noun when they're spelled the same. So here's that segment. Watch and listen, and very important, follow the instructions. Can you pronounce this? I'm going to share with you a rule, a very simple rule, how to do some of the tricky pronunciations in English. Let's get started. How do you say this? Wait a minute. Minute. Now, how do you say this? No, it's not a minute fish. It's a minute fish. A minute fish is a very small, a very, very tiny fish. What's the difference? Minute as a noun is pronounced minute, but as an adjective it's pronounced minute. So we have lots of interesting things to learn about pronunciation in English, and I'm going to share with you a rule for the difference in pronunciation of a verb and a noun, even though they're spelled the same. So before we begin, just listen when you see black. Listen and repeat when you see red. It's very, very important you don't try to guess. Don't try to be too smart when you're learning your pronunciation. If you try to do that, you will have a hard time correcting your pronunciation. That's why I ask you to listen, put it in your brain, and then repeat when you see red. Then you'll be sure you get it right the first time. And the first time that you put it in your brain is the most important. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend maybe years just to erase that wrong pronunciation from your voice. So please, listen when it's black and repeat when it's red. Let's get started. We must polish the Polish furniture. We must polish the Polish furniture. He could lead if he would get the lead out. He could lead if he would get the lead out. The soldier decided to desert his dessert in the desert. The soldier decided to desert his dessert in the desert. Since there is no time like the present, he thought it was time to present the present. Since there is no time like the present, he thought it was time to present the present. Here is the rule. If you are pronouncing the verb present, the stress is on the second syllable, present. If you are pronouncing the noun present, the first syllable has the stress, present. If you are pronouncing the verb present, stress is on the second syllable. If you are pronouncing the noun present, the stress is on the first syllable, present. Now get ready again. Listen when it's black, repeat when it's red. I did not object to the object. I did not object to the object. The bandage was wound around the wound. The bandage was wound around the wound. The farm was used to produce produce. The farm was used to produce produce. When shot at, the dove dove into the bushes. When shot at, the dove dove into the bushes. The insurance was invalid for the invalid. The insurance was invalid for the invalid. There was a row among the oarsmen about how to row. There was a row among the oarsmen about how to row. They were too close to the door to close it. They were too close to the door to close it. The buck does funny things when the does are present. The buck does funny things when the does are present. The dump was so full that it had to refuse more refuse. The dump was so full that it had to refuse more refuse. And that's the end of your pronunciation practice session, Tricky Pronunciation. Okay, so now that you've learned the rule about tricky pronunciation, come back again and again and watch it. And you can really master pronunciation just by learning this one simple trick. Later, I'm going to share with you a video to correct other types of pronunciation errors. But for now, I'm doing a section called 45 mispronounced words. And these are the 45 most mispronounced words in English based on research. So you don't have to guess. If you master these 45 words, you've eliminated a lot from your mispronunciation. So watch carefully and listen and repeat. 45 commonly mispronounced words. Here they are, the 45 most commonly mispronounced words in English. Here is an important tip. Don't try to guess how to say it. If you pronounce it wrongly, you will have a hard time unlearning it later. Listen, then repeat. Also, concentrate on the pronunciation, not the meaning. I will say each word 2 times. Then you say it. You can look up the meaning later. For now, Just practice your pronunciation. Across, across. Axe, axe. Actually, actually. Anticlimactic, anticlimactic. Any, any. Asked, asked. Because, because. Catch, catch. Company, company. Current, current. District, district. Drowning, drowning. Etc., etc. Facts, facts. Familiar, familiar. February, February. Fifth, fifth. Foliage, foliage. Friendly, friendly. Genuine, genuine. Government, government. Height, height. Horror, horror. 100, 100. International, international. Introduce, introduce. Literature, literature. Mayor, mayor. Midst, midst. Mirror, mirror. Next, next. Nuclear, nuclear. Particular, particular. Picture, picture. Prescription, prescription. Probably, probably. Recognized, recognized. Recommends, recommends. Sandwich, sandwich. Saw, saw. Stole, stole. Structure, structure, terrorists, terrorists, vulnerability, vulnerability, Washington, Washington. So I hope you got something out of the 45 most mispronounced words and learned a little bit more about how to correct your pronunciation. Even if you think your pronunciation is poor, remember, you can correct just those one or two big mistakes and it will make a tremendous difference in how you pronounce English for the rest of your life. So practice a little bit more. It's worth it. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day and looking forward to hearing about your English breakthrough.